Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, and welcome again to the Pathtern Summit. You're welcome to the Pathtern Summit. I'm so glad you are here this evening. This evening is going to be a wonderful one. This evening, I'm so super glad. Please, if you can hear me, can you type on the comment section? Or if you can't hear me, hope my sound is good. 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 Okay, please, if you can hear me, type in the comment section. You are welcome again to the Pathtern Summit. My name is Kevin Obosage. I'm the privileged executive director at Prela. And tonight is going to be an awesome night again with Harissa Eria and Ebenezer Chibundu. I know you don't want to miss this section. I know this section was specifically designed for you. Please, you know where your friends are, you know where your guys are. Quickly type on your phone, take a screenshot, tell them we are live, 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 we are live. Come on, we are live, we are live, we are live. Who's there? Who is there? Who's there? Who's there? Who is there? Who is there? So, like I said yesterday, if you were not in yesterday's section, you missed a lot, you missed quite a lot. Yesterday we had Rose Joseph May. Rose Joseph May, please, if you can hear me, type in the comment section. We are Rose Joseph May and myself spoke on quite a few things about purpose and purpose discovery. So this evening we'll be having Carissa Area. We are having Carissa Area. Please let me make her come on board. We are having Carissa Area. Come speak to us concerning purpose again. Come speak to us concerning purpose again. I know you don't want to miss this session. No, I know you don't want to miss this session. Please meet your friends, call your friends, invite everybody that should be here. This is the Pathtern Summit. Come on. You are going to get it. You are going to know your path. You are going to walk in that path. You are going to walk in purpose. You are going to fulfill purpose. That will be my greatest joy. You are going to fulfill purpose. Just like 3 weeks ago, somebody was asking the late Ubon he was the question, I don't know, maybe he knew whether he was going to pass on. He asked him, if you are to die today, what will be your greatest joy? And Ubon said, my greatest joy will be that I have set one person in purpose. I have helped one person to find his path. That is something super amazing. That's something super amazing. That is something super amazing. Please, my greatest joy also be that you have found your path and you are walking in that path. That's why the Pathtern Summit is here, for you to find your path and for you to walk in your path, for you to find your path and for you to walk in your path. So this evening we'll be having Carissa, we'll be bringing Carissa on board. And please don't play with the Pathtern Summit. Don't joke with the Pathtern Summit. Don't play around. I told us something yesterday about the Pathtern Summit. I said one thing you should know about the Pathtern Summit is that you are going to learn the urgency of purpose. You are going to learn the urgency of purpose. Somebody said, please, if you can hear me, type on the comment section so I know you can hear me. You're just joining, type on the comment section so I know you can hear me, because I don't know if this earpiece I'm using, if you can hear me, please type in the comment section. Please type in the comment section. All right, please, Carissa, come on board. If you can hear me, type in the comment section. Type in the comment section. Type in the comment section. Okay, I said one thing you are going to learn from the Pathtern Summit is you are going to know the path that these people followed. We have some people already working in purpose, and the aim of the Pathtern Summit, the goal of the Pathtern Summit is that you don't try to struggle like they struggled. Don't try to find your path as though you are a beginner in a field. No, you waste more time like that. You waste more energy like that. So what we want you to do, or what we want to do for you, is that we help you look for those that have found purpose, and we help you we ask them specific questions how they found purpose, and help you model, look them as a model so that you can follow their path, you can follow their pattern. That's the end goal. The end goal of the Pathtern Summit is that you are working in purpose. You are working in purpose. Carissa have joined us. Carissa have joined us. Please, if you can hear me, type in the comment section. All right, Carissa is here. Welcome, Carissa.
Thank
Welcome,
you.
Carissa. Okay. Hello, Carissa. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening.
I,
Can you hear
I
me?
can't hear you. I can't hear
You
you.
can hear me?
Please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Me, I can't hear you. I don't know why.
Okay. Well, you're showing me
You
everyone
sure
can
I will
see.
not
And
have to disconnect this audio? Let me see whether it's from this. Let's try speaking again.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay, nice.
All right, welcome, Carissa. I'm so glad you finally joined us tonight. And my goodness, I know it's gonna be a blowing section with you. It's gonna be a super amazing section with you. I'm so sure of that. So sure of that. Please, if you are just joining us, type in the comment section. Akilabi Samuel, can see Akilabi Samuel. Okay, let me check
Okay.
something, please. A minute. Thank you for joining. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Carissa. So in a moment, please, Carissa, introduce yourself. We are not upgraded to the premium version, so we cannot put up your profile. So quickly, let's just meet you.
Okay. My name is Carissa. I'm a child of God.
Yes.
Um, I'm a youth impact strategist. I'm a prophetic equiper. What I do is to equip young people with the divine wisdom and strategies available for them to find and live their life's vision so they can begin to serve and preserve God's purpose for their lives and for the sphere of influence to which they are called. Amidst other things, I'm an author, a singer, a worship leader, an event manager, and many things. But I'm coming here today as a youth impact strategist. And I think
That's very important. Meanwhile, I saw your video of when you are singing Breathe Your Name Upon Me. That was super amazing. You have a
oh,
super amazing voice.
yeah, that's the worship leader expression of Carissa. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Congratulations, Carissa. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for accepting our invitation.
Thank you so
On behalf of the entire team of Prela, we are super grateful. We are super grateful that you are
much.
here this evening.
Here
Okay,
again. It's really
Carissa,
good to
we know you are doing so many amazing things. We have seen your impact work all around. Indeed, you are youth impact strategist. We have seen your impact work all around. So, Carissa, how did it all start?
okay. And well, for me, I don't have that definite point that I can say this is how it began because I was raised in an atmosphere of God's presence and I was taught to know God and love God and fear God. So everything in my life is an outflow of what I have with God. So I cannot tell you this is the date when it started, but I know there are definite moments that has been the tipping point for the many things that I do today. So I was really young when I began hearing God, and my story is quite a huge one. I did not know I would be doing what I'm doing today. As a matter of fact, I thought I would be a singer, right? Sing, I thought I would just build my career around singing and going around the world and ministering and blessing lives through sound until 2018 when God jacked me up and said, hey, you know what? I don't want you singing anymore. At least not the way you want it. I want you to come into the coaching space. I have work for you there. So I think that's a very defining moment of what my life is about now. It was at that point where God said, move from here to here. It was a very sharp bend for me, and it wasn't an easy turn for me to make. but I really did do it, coming out of my much confusion, seeking clarity, and just following God how He was taking me stage by stage in His space, what He wanted me to do per time. So my life generally is an overflow of a relationship that I have with God and a desire to be everything that God wants me to be. So I think that will be my answer to that question. Sorry, this is
All right,
shaky.
Carissa, you have said so many things. You have said so many things. I picked like 2 or 3 words from that. From amidst all your confusion, and again, your life purpose is an overflow of your relationship with God. So I want to ask 2 questions. First,
Okay.
uh, how can one channel his path from confusion to clarity? That's one question. How can somebody change their path from confusion? Quite a number of youth are confused concerning the term purpose. They are so confused. So how can one channel his path from confusion to clarity? Then secondly, you said from overflow of your relationship with God. Is it that somebody that don't have relationship with God can that person still understand purpose? I don't like using the word discover. I rather say understand. So can that person still understand purpose? Is there hope for somebody that really okay? Okay, first, people that don't have relationship with God. Then second, people that don't have this strong, intimate relationship with God.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much for asking that question. Clarity is something that I really like to talk about, right? Because I was stuck in confusion for a long time. It almost led me to depression. I was very sad because I could not lay my hand on the detail concerning the vision that God was trying to birth in my heart. So I really like to talk about clarity. If I say how people should move from confusion to clarity, first of all is okay, you know what? I want to answer the question in a compassing manner. So I'm just going to say many things, but at the end, we're going to get the answers to the question. The first thing that I see very, very commonplace is that young people are more interested in performing to satisfy and massage their personal ego more than seeking a blueprint from God and fulfilling a purpose for their life. What do I mean? Okay, I see Mr. Kelvin doing a program, the Pathtern. I'm like, wow, are you serious? This is amazing. I can do this, right? And then I see other persons in my circle doing things that are really nice that I know I can do. So I just want to venture into doing stuff, and then I want God to approve it. That's what many youths are doing. So I bring to God something and say, when people say I'm confused, it's more like there are many things I know I can do, and there are many things I want to do based on the pressure on my life. I just want God to approve one of these many things, right? So if you begin to seek it at the level of performance, you're going to get it wrong because God is more interested in making you, right? He told the
Can you hear
disciples,
me?
follow me. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello, Carissa.
I can
Oh
hear you. I
my,
can
I
hear
think
you.
network
Oh
be
my God.
challenging at our end. Please, if you can still hear, just type in the comment section. Sorry, Carissa. You are back. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I didn't even know anything happened. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm sorry. I think your network.
Wow. I can't even see your video moving anymore. Okay. Okay, so where did we stop? Because I kept talking. I don't know where you lost the connection now.
Okay, the part where you said that, many youth have so many things to do and they bring it to God looking for or seeking approval of one of those many things.
Okay, 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 yes. So I said that if we begin to seek clarity at the level of performance, at the level of what should I do, at the level of what can I do, what can keep me busy, we're going to get it wrong. Because God is more interested in your becoming. God is more interested in making you a kind of person than in having you do stuff. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so you see, when he called out to the disciples, he says, "Follow me, and I will make you, right? I will make you a certain kind of person. When you become that person, you can begin to do stuff. So many times we want to do stuff, and so we're seeking approval to massage that ego, to massage that yearning for societal validations. So the first thing I have to ask anybody who thinks they're confused is, are you really confused? What do you want? Right? Do you want to seek a divine vision and fulfill it, or you are seeking something to keep you busy? So by the time we answer this, we can then move forward. And then you asked me, I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to answer the questions together, right? Because purpose, vision, confusion, clarity is one huge cycle. And then you asked
Yes.
me if someone who doesn't know God can fulfill purpose. We'll have to go back to the very meaning of purpose to be able to answer that question, right? And we know purpose means reason, purpose means intention. So if we say my purpose, what I'm basically saying is God's intention for my creation. So if that definition is accurate, it's going to be difficult to want to fulfill the intention of someone you do not know, right? It's going to be difficult to want to that has intentions for you and ask him, okay, I came. The last time I was in your community, I told you there are already how many people in the world. Purpose is not just about why you came, it's about why you had to come. What is at stake if you do not make it to the earth? That's what your purpose is about. And you cannot begin to know this from self-help books or from mere self-awareness or from taking personality tests, right? You have to come to a point of communion with God. And that this is my take when you're talking about purpose, because it's my experience. And I know many people will have opinions that differ, right? There are many things going around, like create your purpose from your pain and all that. Not for anybody that God gives me the opportunity to speak to, because it's gonna be painful that you begin to climb up a ladder with so much grit, so much sacrifice, so much hard work, only for you to get to the top of the ladder and find out that the ladder was leaning on the wrong wall, right? So you really want to begin to come into what's the word, congruence with your core. Then you have to come into communion with the person who created you, right? So we should not begin to talk about purpose and really and vision if we have not begun talking about relationship, because that's where it's going to begin. You should first of all establish, honor the relationship you have with God. From that, many things are going to spring. So many people are confused because they have not honored relationship, right? So honor relationship enough to get details from the creator. That's the first thing I'm going to say. Moving from confusion to clarity. Be setting what you want. Do you want to make money, live a good life, or you want to fulfill divine purpose? Because these are two different things, right? You can make money from your hustle. Because when we talk about you must have a relationship with God, many people begin to say, but there are people who are successful and they don't know God. We're not talking about success. We're talking about significance. We're talking about covenant advantage. We're talking about eternal essence when we're talking about purpose. So there's enough value that is embedded in the human potential that you can begin to trade and you can begin to make money and you can live a comfortable life. That's beautiful. If that's what you want, and perhaps you can begin to do that with enough hard work and intelligence, you can make money and live a comfortable life. But if you are one who wants to step into essence and step into significance, then you have to establish an honor relationship.
Wow.
I hope you get me right. So that's the first thing. Then if you are on this pedestal and you think God is birthing something in your heart and you cannot interpret it, there are many things. There's no hard and fast way to gain clarity, right? But I can take you through a journey. And this is why I do what I do with my coaching camps and the vision starter kits that I'm about to launch. So what I'm going to tell you is pay attention, right? Because you have to understand that God is more interested in talking to you about you than you are in catching the details he's about to give you. I'm going to say that again. God is more interested in showing you the details than you are in catching the details. So if you understand this, it's gonna dictate the way you communicate with God. So having known this, you must understand that God is going to begin to throw things at you, right? To gain your attention. He's going to throw things at you, just the way he did to Moses. So Moses went about his daily routine, I guess, of feeding the flock, and God wants to catch his attention because he wants to pull him into significance. So he sets off a fire. And then the Bible said that when God saw that Moses turned, so God is going to do many things to get your attention, right? So if you can begin to pay attention to the many things that God is throwing at you, you find out that you begin to leave that place of confusion into clarity. So the thing is, many times there's so much noise, right? We cannot seem to pay attention to what God is saying. So there are many things that will jump at you. For instance, now while we're having this session, there are certain persons here who will have an unusual connection with me, right? Because God has called them to be a part of my tribe. So it's not just going to be a regular interview session for them. For them, it's going to be a voice that is piercing through their soul. When you meet such a person, do not let them go. It's one of the things God is using to call you. So there are many things you desire, right? And it's a desire that will not leave you. Miles Morrow says something that is very profound. He said, God placed the blueprint of your destiny in the very place that it cannot be lost. In the very place that is most sacred, he put it in you. So purpose and vision is an inside job. If you begin to pay attention to what God is doing in your mind, these things will come. Right? So look at the things that jump at you. What are the kind of reality that you hunger for and it doesn't seem to leave you? That means God has locked a certain kind of reality in your heart. What are the kind of people that you see and it's as if your soul is set on fire? Begin to pay attention to these things. What is the unusual capacity fuel you have regarding certain things? What's the certain level of insight that you have about certain ideas that you do not read from a book, you do not hear from a book? These are the things you pay attention to, because when you are talking about what is in your purpose space, you will utter words that nobody taught you. You will utter words that you did not read from a book. Right? Begin to pay attention to such things. And then, of course, give time to meditation, give time to thinking. My generation is not thinking, they're just recycling thought patterns. So what you thought yesterday is what you thought today, is what you think tomorrow, is what you think next week, right? So give time to be able to intersect your routine thinking and be able to reflect. It's called insight. Catching insight from things that have happened before. Reflect on your personal experiences. Observe. When you begin to observe, you will see God's investment in you and in your environment is using to catch your attention. So this is a full concept that I may not be able to talk about here, but that's why we have resources. So I'm just going to round off with Habakkuk. Habakkuk chapter 2, it is verse 2 that is very popular. Write the vision, make it plain. But in verse 1, Habakkuk gave us the protocol to catch vision. So if you are confused, this is what you should begin to engage. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so Habakkuk says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon a tower, and I will watch to see what God will say to me. So if you want to see what God has to say to you, you have to stand upon your watch. You have to begin to observe what God is doing with you. You have to become very observant of the many clues that are in your life. You have to begin to listen to your life. I will stand upon my watch. I will set me upon a tower. I will get away from the noise. I will get to a place where my consciousness is stretched so I can begin to capture God's voice in my heart. So the Amplified Version made it very simple. It says, I will in my thinking observe to catch what God is saying. So many times God is in your mind, right? You just have to be silent and seek what you need. So many times we must have seen this. If you really calm your mind, right? The kind of insights you get are things that are written in books, are things that are present in courses that people pay premium for. So I'm going to round up with this. Your soul is an ageless entity. It knows more than you think it does, right? So your ability to stretch your consciousness into chambers of your soul that that are that are what's the word now, carrying revelational knowledge from your spirit, that's wisdom for your life. Begin to listen to your life, right? So search the chambers of your soul, check the quarters of your heart, and you will see the many pockets of wisdom that God invested for yourself. I hope with these many things I've said, I've been able to answer your questions.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you. I feel like giving you a round of applause. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's go to the next question. Meanwhile,
Okay.
I would have loved to deep in because you said some things that were profound. I'd have loved to deep in again to those things you said, but for time's sake, we have to run because okay, let me just take a few things. So one
Okay.
can actually understand our purpose. One can actually understand it for our purpose by paying attention to intricacies that makes that person.
Yes. Yes.
Wow,
Yes.
that's
Everything.
so amazing.
Yes. Yes. Your internal environment
The,
is a
the key
map
word
for
is
your
up.
life. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I just want to use one statement to cap it all. Your internal environment is a compass and a map for your life. We should begin to consult our inner compass. Consult your inner compass. Your internal environment, it contains wisdom for your life. If you begin to pay attention, you will find the clues that will lead you to that point of clarity.
Wow.
Yes, that's what I would say.
Thank you very much. Okay, the next question is in your journey of purpose, has it been so far? How has the journey been so far? Just give us a highlight.
Okay, well, it has not been a straight road. The journey of purpose is not a straight, right? God is, at least for me, God will jack me up from many places and go. The kind of relationship I have with God is one that is very unique, I believe, and it is like the only asset I have. It's basically the only asset I have. So it is the very what's the word now? The very system that defines my journey, right? At the beginning, it was like I told you, when God began to tell me He wanted me to come into the coaching space, it was terrible for me because I had terrible mental blocks, right? I did not believe I was good enough. So I went from that point of being excellent in my music to that point of feeling insufficient in the new vision that God had given to me, to that point where I needed to leverage vital connections that aided my clarity, to that point where I began to come into the knowing of the things God wanted me to bet, how I had to stretch to be able to do certain things, to the point where I did not have wisdom for some things, right? And it delayed a part of my life. And then to that point where God then gave me speed in certain other areas. So if you don't give me a specific thing to talk about, this is just how it's gonna be. This is just the highlight from up, from the lows to the highs, back to the lows and then to the highs again, and then to excellence and then to mediocrity and then to finding my and then to many, many things that are the spice in my experiences. So I can say it's not a straight road, but I'm just willing to go with God as it unfolds my life. I hope that makes sense to you.
Wow, wow. Thank you again. Thank you. Yes, a lot of things. A lot of things. So, as a lady, there's this what word should I use now? Uh segregation for ladies. So how has it been as a lady building your brand, pushing HYPB, pushing VCC, pushing all these brands. So how has it been for you as a lead?
Okay, well, I will not say gender was anything for me because from the very time when I was a child, right, I had this domineering, I don't know if that's the word. I always stood out. There was something about me that always made me stand out. In class, it was because I'm intelligent, or if it's in a space, it's because of my voice. There's something that always made me stand out. So I did not have this, I'm a lady, I'm a female, I cannot do it, because I would compete with guys when I was young because I would just want to beat them and tell them I can beat you, right? So I had that spirit. So being a female was not anything that really held me back. It was just my personal issues. I don't think I've ever thought of is a male dominated world. How would I stand out? That's not my story, right? My gender has been the spice for me. If anything, my gender has been something that I love and I think has propelled my vision even more. So building a brand was harder for me because I did not exactly know what branding was, right? I did not the real thing for me was building a brand, not being a female, because I was living my life and being the best as much as I could be. So it really was about coming to knowing that it's not just about catching a divine vision, but be able to relate that vision in certain contexts that will be palatable to people who do not have the kind of relationship I have with God, right? So it is when I'm in spaces like this, you can hear me say these kind of things. If not, what God has given to me, or a part of my expression is a very executive part. Right? So you may not have very intimate relationships with God, but you'll be able to relate with the things I say. So the ability to be able to break down divine insight into a coaching framework that just anybody can understand. That was the difficulty for me. To be able to present my brand in such a way that we're not doing Holy Ghost baptism, right? But when you come, we want you to see a dimension of God. That was my real struggle. To be able to merge ministry and corporate work. That was my real struggle. Not really because I was a female. So my ability to know how to articulate my message and present my brand as a corporate expression of the gospel. That was the real issue that I had.
I think I can relate perfectly with that issue because I had that same issue. I had that same issue trying to sometimes in the corporate world they want you to scrap out God and just make it
Yeah.
a corporate.
Yes.
So you trying to impute God and make people see that okay, yes, God is even still in the corporate world. It's a difficult task. It's really a difficult task. Okay,
Yeah.
uh,
But the thing,
the
if I
harnessing
make
your
any
power.
comment,
No, no, speak,
if
speak.
I
Let
can
me hear
make
you,
any more
please.
comments, I'm going to say that that time is coming where we are going to have Holy Ghost baptisms in our business meetings, right? God is invading spaces very seriously, and if you are a person who works with God, you should begin to come into that knowing of how to infiltrate space, right? With the gospel, with this is what I have to say. This is what I have to say. If God has called you to mirror an executive expression of the gospel, right? Crack it as much as it can be. Be as excellent as excellence can be. Because the problem with the gospel that is without the church walls is that it is not as excellent as what the corporate world has. So your message will be relegated. So if you know you have an executive expression, be the best you can be. Read the books those people are reading. Let the Holy Ghost be your extra advantage. But don't come into the set and be mediocre, right? Have what they have. If they have the PhD, have it, right? And that's why I'm going to go ahead to have a PhD, because I'm gonna be the best in this sphere, and then the Holy Ghost is going to be my advantage. But the point is that we are coming to that place where every mountain will come. The Bible said it. It said in the last days, the nations shall flow, right? Every mountain will come into the mountain of God. We just finished the HYPB dinner when we're talking about the awakening. And that is the structure of the awakening. So let me cap these many things I'm saying. I'm saying get ready for the invasion, because the Holy Spirit is going to be invading spaces. You're going to wake up one day and you find out that everything has changed, just the way it was in Joseph's time, right? They woke up one day and they found out that Joseph is prime minister. And now it is a Christian that has the economic blueprint for our nation. It's going to be like that. So God is raising underdogs and he's breeding misfits, right? And one day when people wake up, you find out that the whole system has changed. God is going to be invading spaces like that. So if you know he has called you to a sphere of influence, you should begin to, now more than ever, be intimate with him to be able to know the direction that sphere is towing, so you're not caught unaware. I felt like I should add that to what we're talking about.
It's super amazing because the major word is excellence. Excellent. Be excellent as excellent can be, because why many times they tend to separate church people is that many times church people like playing low. They like playing at the mediocre level. They like playing small.
Exactly.
But if you want to really be one who God has called into one of the seven mountains, and you want to stand out and still be as relevant as those top people, and even more relevant, because you have the Holy Spirit, which is your added advantage. So if you want to be more relevant, you have to be very, very, very
Yes,
super excellent. Thank you very
exactly.
much for that. I'm grateful. So the harnessing your power to become better, and the vision VCC, vision what? I can't really recall. Or VCC.
Vision coaching camp.
How did it all?
Vision coaching camp. VCC.
Yeah, vision coaching camp. So how did it all begin? How did you get this insight? How did it start? What initiated it?
Okay. I told you about a sharp bend that my life had. That was HYPB. And I always say it when I'm explaining my stories. It was in 2018. I was playing with my friends and somehow I somersaulted over my bed, right? And then I heard it very clearly, harnessing your power of better. I did not know what it was, so I just wrote it down. Like, what is harnessing your power of better? And I began to engage God in conversations, and He began to tell me that it was a youth impact scheme. He wanted me to organize seminars and conferences. I'm not going to say that I have fully downloaded the blueprint for what HYPB stands for, but to the extent to which I have seen, I know that it's going to be a hub, right, where youth will have the systems and the wisdom that they can plug their lives into and begin to thrive. So our message is that you can be better. You have the power of being better. Harness it, right? So find your next self, evolve radically, so you can become the kind of person that can execute God's purposes for your life. So that's what HYPB says to you. And we do this through seminars, conferences, dinners, and many things that are to come. So it's one of the many expressions that my life has. And another is VCC. God told me, host a vision coaching camp, right? The way I get inspired can be very funny. It can be anyway, God told me, host a camp, let it be 10 days, do this for me. He gave me a curriculum and he says, this is what I want you to run through, right? So we did a vision coaching camp where people plugged in. The idea is my dream is to create a system that takes the person who is completely clueless about what vision and purpose is, right? Be plugged into a system, and then when you come out, you know God's unique purpose and vision for your life, and you are equipped to be the person that can execute those goals. So it's a whole journey. And the 10 days we did was just a fraction of the vision. So God was teaching me how these systems will run. And it was more like a test run of new knowledge or a new coaching framework that God gave me. So that is not the exact blueprint of how the coaching camp will run, but that was the test run that I believe God gave me to see how I would do it, right? So he says, if you are faithful in little, I'll give you much. So that was the little he gave me to see if I'll be faithful because I'm praying that God gives me systems. Because I see that we come to the university and we're willing to commit 4 years to get a certificate that we see as useless. So why don't we have the divine wisdom to build systems? It may not be 4 years, but it's not going to be one webinar, right? Because your life can't change in one webinar. If you look at all the webinars you have attended this year, nothing changed. You are just going from one to one and saying deep, oh deep, oh deep, oh deep, and your life is not transforming. So I trust God to give us systems that will be able to catalyze personal transformations in the lives of people, that will take them from being totally clueless to being people whom God can trust with his purposes for the earth. So that is what all I do. This is what is centered around. This is what we are building.
You just revived a word God told me some time ago. It's similar to this. It's just like, the cave of Abdullah, where David,
Aha.
the indebted, they were gathered unto David, and from there, that's First Samuel. In Second Samuel, you see those men, David that trained them, David that equipped them, they are now the mighty men of
They're mighty
David.
men.
That
Amazing.
yes, that one head sword, and that sword cleave to his hands. So it's just a whole picture. That it was actually that scripture it was used to explain something of this nature to me. That
Yeah.
you bring people that are absolutely clueless, that don't know what purpose is, you bring them into the system, and their lives are being changed and catalyzed into mighty and great men that will go and take nations. I'll go and take system. Oh, super
Exactly.
amazing, super. I'm enjoying myself in this session. I'm
Exactly.
enjoying
Exactly.
myself in this.
Exactly. So what I trust
Okay.
God for is the grace to unbundle the wisdom that he placed in one man called David, that he could take feeble men to become mighty men. And I trust he's going to be releasing this wisdom in this decade, right? So every equiper out there should rise and be close to the heart of God, because God is going to be releasing them to create systems. And I trust that to happen. Yep.
You know, when I was growing up, I used to explain to people. My time is running. I used to explain to people that we have gone past the time where ministry is behind pulpits only, where
Mm,
you see a minister and all you know about that minister is that this person is it's behind the pulpit. No, you will have barbers that are ministers. That when this barber, just because they touch your head. Hello, are you still with me?
yes, yes, I can hear you.
Just because they touch your head, if you have had generational curse, it will be broken because somebody a minister who is a barber cut your hair. If you have been having issue as a lady, a minister who is plating your hair because she touched your hair, your life will be
Exactly.
changed forever.
Exactly.
A minister
Exactly.
who is a driver A minister who is a driver, if you enter that vehicle, your life will not remain the same. That's how the concept is. That's
Exactly.
how the concept is.
Amazing. Amazing.
I'm just enjoying myself.
Exactly.
I'm
And
just enjoying myself.
this decade is ushering us to that point, to this disruptive point and this collision point where ministry will collide with industry. Certainly, certainly. These are the kind of things we're going to see this decade. It's going to be a collision between ministry and industries, and the word of God and the life of God is going to go beyond the four walls of the church and invade systems. So amazing, amazing, amazing. It's beautiful.
Wow,
It
super
really
amazing. Okay, let's push forward. So, Mark, we have been talking about, we said something about excellence. Excellence. So, as a young individual who had found purpose, what were the skills you learned that propelled you in purpose? What skills do you advise people, the audience watching now? What skills do you advise them to learn that can propel them?
okay. First of all, I
Sorry,
would
sorry
say
to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt you. The skills center around digital skills, hard skills, and soft skills.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, there are certain skills that are contextual, that's depending on the exact sphere that God is calling you out to. And there are certain other skills that you just should have, right? So the skill set that is contextual for your vision, you are the person that will find that out to know what exactly God is calling you out for and the skills you need to learn. But for things that on a general, you should, on a generic note, you should be able to have this. From soft skills, we begin talking about things like emotional intelligence, social and emotional learning. Because if we're saying that the church is going to overflow beyond the four walls of the church, then we must begin to learn social and emotional learning, right? People skills, emotional intelligence, relationship intelligence. Because when you then get into the field, you begin to relate with people socially and on an emotional level. So social and emotional learning is something you should begin to look out to. People management, people skills, relationship intelligence. And as I trust God for it, God will help us, because I really want to create something around relationship intelligence next year. Because it seems like we know how important relationships are, but we just seek to be lacking the wisdom to cultivate it, to maintain it, and to leverage it, right? So you see people meet in an event, they exchange numbers. I send you a message when I get home, and that's all. And that person is one person God has brought as a part of the system, as a fraction of the results He wants you to achieve. But if you don't leverage it, you will not be able to make those results, right? So I think we should begin looking at social and emotional learning, social and emotional learning, emotional intelligence. Those are my top soft skills, right? And then critical thinking, problem solving, because this is what we see in the life of Joseph. God handed to Joseph an economic blueprint for a nation, right? But amidst his gifts of interpreting dreams was his skill of critical thinking and problem solving. Now, let me show you this. What Pharaoh invited Joseph to the palace to do was to interpret his dream. But Joseph went beyond interpreting the dream, leveraging critical thinking and problem solving to give Pharaoh a solution. Interpreting the dream was the first stage of the solution, was not the whole solution, right? So Pharaoh had a dream and then he said, I don't know the meaning. They said, we know a guy who can interpret dreams. Joseph could have just said, your dream means that there will be 7 years of plenty and 7 years of famine. That's what it means to interpret the dream. But he went ahead to say, therefore, O king, this is what you should do. These are the systems you should put in place, knowing that this is the meaning of your dream. So I think what is going to give you an extra leg beyond your skill and your talent is your ability to solve problems, to be able to deliver solutions through critical thinking, through wisdom application. So I think these are the things we should begin to look at on the level of soft skills. We can also see it in the life of Daniel. He had great people management skills. The Bible said that they came to look for fault in Daniel and they could see none. He was among other persons that they had set as princes, and they could not see any fault in Daniel. So in his work, even when he rose to great political power, right, his leadership skills were excellent. His leadership skills were flawless. So I think those are the things we should begin to look at: social and emotional learning, leadership skills, problem solving, critical thinking. And of course, when we start looking at digital skills, this is not the time to say you are not techie, right? Technology is going to be one tool we must leverage to propagate the gospel within and without the four walls of the church. So everybody should get a hang of a level of technology, just so you make the articulation of your unique message secure, right? So it may not be web designing, but be able to work around certain tools. Hard skills, I would say hard skills are contextual depending on what God has called you for. Again, soft skills, everybody now should go for project management, because God is going to be giving you projects. Everybody should go for project management. And if you see Joseph was made the ruler of all the lands, right? So from being From managing people in the prison, he went to managing people in a whole nation. And as at that time, we know that Egypt was world power. So the position that was given to Joseph was a very critical one. So we must begin to learn project management, how to manage projects effectively and excellently. These are the things, highlights of the skills that I think everybody in this age should have.
Wow, wow. Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you very much. I want
Yes.
to ask another question. There's always this issue with finance and purpose. Finance and purpose, most many times, it used to look like two sides of a coin. It's either you choose money and be successful, or you choose purpose and pursue purpose. So it used to look like two sides of a coin, which of course. So what do you advise somebody that has desire to go into purpose, to pursue purpose, but again the person is thinking of I will marry now, my family, how will they eat? Finance.
Yeah.
The person is thinking finance. So how do you manage finance and purpose?
Okay. The first thing I want to say is don't give up purpose for hustle. Hmm? Don't give up purpose for bread. That's the first thing I want to say. Let's establish that fact. Now, I've not attained the level of financial freedom that I want, but I can tell you this, that embedded in your purpose is an economic model for you to cash out. I'm going to say that again. Embedded in your purpose is an economic model that you can leverage and cash out. So many times we have not cracked the economic model of our purpose space, and that's why it seems like if you are coming to purpose, is poverty you have chosen. That's the first thing. So seek to crack the economic model of your purpose space. So you can, because that's where God has placed your wealth. Your wealth is placed in the space of your purpose, right? So God is not going to be giving you a vision and not making provision. So God's provision for you is in your purpose path, but you must be able to crack the economic model behind it. That's the first thing. The second thing is that God gave you multiple expressions, and some of your expressions can sponsor success, right? So let me just talk about purpose, passion, profit. Purpose, passion, profit. People say, I don't want to go into purpose because it is my passion that is profitable, right? So this is the whole idea. You can monetize other expressions to make money and then fund your purpose. Until that time, when you crack the economic model for your purpose and then begin to have the cash flow from both streams, right? So the fact that you're embracing purpose does not mean that you are going to sideline your other expressions. So I'm very well involved and participating in God's vision for my life, but I'm an editor, right? I help people edit books. It's one thing I do. I help you edit and you pay me for it. I mean, now is one thing I can monetize, at least at the level that I am, to make some money. I'm an event manager. So you have a corporate event, I'm going to manage it for you. It's an expression that I can monetize. But I'm not going to say my purpose is managing events. So that is one passion I have that I can monetize and make profit. Very different from my purpose. And all these can coexist. So I'm the executive director of HYPB. And what HYPB does is not something that is bringing in the money yet. So Carissa Creations will manage events, corporate events for other people, huge organizations, and they'll pay us in millions. I will direct that million into HYPB. Until HYPB has the light to shine to begin to attract very, very dangerous sponsorships. So I can make my purpose, my passion, and my profit coexist in such a way that I'm not hungry. And beyond not being hungry, I'm even feeding others. So don't give up purpose for hustle. When you embrace purpose, seek to crack the economic model around your purpose because God has placed your wealth in it. So you have to decode those many encodings in your purpose and then seek other expressions that you can monetize. Monetize it and make your money, right? So I think this is something
Wow.
that I think that answers the question.
Our time have run faster than I could imagine. I told my All right, somebody is asking a question. Somebody is asking a
Okay.
question. Vivian asked a question. He said, speaking about faith, how can one nurture and influence his or her faith? How can you nurture and influence your faith?
Okay. First of all, use that influence in itself is not the primary goal. The primary goal is nurturing yourself, right? When you nurture yourself, the end product is going to be influence.
Mm,
So John Maxwell would say leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less, right? If you want to begin to venture into influence, means you have to begin to venture into lead. And it's going to begin with personal leadership. So it's an overflow of self-governance. There's a way you govern yourself, and then spheres we want to govern yourself. Governorship, that industry
can you hear me? Our network is really bad at her end. Oh my. I don't know if you have been with us. It has been a super amazing section. I don't know about you, but come on now. It has been one, should I use the word mad session? Oh my, it has been a mad session. Goodness. Please, if you have the opportunity, get this replay, play them over and again. Play them over and again. She's back. She's back. Network is really bad at her end. Sorry, Carissa, I'm back.
I'm so sorry
Sorry,
about that.
network is bad at her
I,
end.
I'm so sorry. I thought I was leveraging my best network.
It happens.
Can you hear
Network
me?
is just, yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, so I don't even know to what point you heard me speak.
You said self-governance. You stop at self-governance.
Okay. So I was saying you begin to influence fears when you learn how to influence self. That is the cap of what I was trying to say. When you learn to govern self, you will begin to govern spheres. When you learn to nurture self, you begin to nurture spheres, right? So you say, how can we influence spheres? First, influence self. First, govern self. First, lead self. Then you'll be exported naturally to the point where you begin to lead spheres, right? So if you know you have a life goal that you want to lead spheres, then gain mastery over self, right? Gain mastery over self, because the Bible said that Gentiles will come to your light. You are not the one shouting that you have light. No, they come to your light. And kings, that is ruler of spheres, they will come to the brightness of your rising. So by the time we can capture the brightness of your rising, of your growth, of your transformation, of your personal mastery, you will begin to attract leaders of spheres. And those leaders of spheres will give you a stake in a sphere. So you want to influence spheres, first influence self. And I hope that makes sense to you.
Wow, wow, wow. Like I was telling them, like this session has been mad. Mad is the word, making a difference. Oh my, I've been somebody said I'm dazed. Somebody said I'm dazed. Me, I'm super dazed. I don't know any person. Personally, I'm super dazed in this session. My goodness.
Glad we
Has
have
been
this.
one super amazing session. I'm so grateful, Carissa. I'm so grateful. There are so many
Thank you.
more questions I would have loved to ask, but for time's sake, this 8:50. No, we are having two speakers tonight, so that the other
Okay.
speaker can quickly come up. We're having two speakers
Yeah.
tonight, so I'm really sorry we have to let you go. But again, we are going to work. We are going to work together at the back end. Oh
Okay.
my,
No
I'm really amazed.
I'm happy.
I'm
I'm happy with
dazed.
this. Thank you so much for inviting me. So I would love to connect with everybody here, right? So send me a friend request on Facebook or on Instagram. Carissa area. Let's connect and let's do stuff for God, and let's do stuff, right?
Please, what's
Thank you
your
so much.
Instagram handle?
Carissa area, Carissa area, at Carissa area. You'll find me there. You will find me
Okay, let
there.
me just quickly put that up. Let me just quickly put that up.
Yes,
Instagram, sorry,
Carissa area.
at
I have a Christmas
Carissa.
gift for people. I have a Christmas gift for people, so they should go to my Instagram handle and check it out. Right?
All
They can
right,
get.
if you are here, you just heard there is Christmas gift for you. Uh,
The Vision
what I don't know
Starter
what's
Kit.
wrong with you.
Can you hear the Vision Starter Kit? I created it for people who want to start out on their vision. So you can head on to my Instagram handle, and if you know you want to catch a clear and compelling vision and then begin to run with that vision in 2021, right? Then I've created that kit for you. So you can just head to my Instagram handle and get that Christmas present of yours. Thank you so much, sir, for having
You
me.
can go to our Instagram. Please, this the name. I don't know.
There's an
This
underscore.
Carissa
There's an,
area. You can go to our
an
Instagram.
underscore after Carissa.
Okay, then after Carissa, there is an underscore.
Yeah.
Okay, let me quickly put that up. Sorry. Let me quickly put that up. Carissa area. So please, if you can quickly head on to Instagram and YouTube keep rejecting it. I really don't know what's wrong with YouTube right now. I really don't know what's wrong with YouTube. YouTube keep rejecting it. So quickly, Carissa, we are so grateful. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. I'm super
Thank you.
dazed. I'm super dazed. I'm super dazed. Thank you very much. I will see you at the other end. Thank you, man.
Okay, thank you, sir. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Carissa. All right. Please don't leave yet. We are heading on to the other person now. We are heading on. We'll be having Ebenezer Chibundu. Oh my goodness. See, this pattern summit is specifically made for you. Go nowhere. Tell yourself, I'm going nowhere. I'm going nowhere. So I'm bringing in Ebenezer Chibundu right now so he can come and daze us more. Somebody said, I'm dazed. Oh my, you have not seen anything. So I'm bringing Ebenezer. Let me just quickly chat him up so he can come over. So I'm bringing, please, Carissa area. There's an underscore between the Carissa and area. YouTube is not allowing it. YouTube say it's spam. I really don't know what's wrong with YouTube. So please get on it, get on it, get on it. We'll be having our next speaker right away. Ebenezer Chibundu will be joining us right now. So get ready. This is the Pathtern Summit. Come on. This is the Pathtern Summit. This is the Pathtern Summit. I don't know. I really don't know about you, but oh my. Oh my. I've been dazed, like this brother say. I've been dazed. So I'm trying to get onto Ebenezer. He hasn't come over. He hasn't come over. So uh please, you can take a screenshot, invite your friends, invite your friend. Let me try to get onto Ebenezer. Let me try to get onto Ebenezer. Let me try to get onto Ebenezer. Invite your friends. Come on, invite your friends. It is time. It is time for the Pathtern Summit. This time, Ebenezer is seem not to be picking my calls. It's gonna be an amazing one. I don't know. Please invite your friends, take screenshots, post it on Facebook, post it on Instagram, post it everywhere. Post it everywhere. And tag me. Tag me. Please make sure you tag me. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram. I'm Kevin Ogosagi by name. If you are not seeing my name, let me put my name up. Okay. So we are expecting you, sir. Okay, so he will be joining us right away. So please follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, And make sure you follow Prela. Follow Prela because we'll be having more Carissa. There are so many things. Oh, 2021 is a great year already. I don't know for you, but with all these tools, I'm arming myself with 2021 is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be super amazing. So we are preparing for 2021. You heard Carissa, she's giving a free gift, and that free gift is on her Instagram. So please quickly head on to an Instagram and click on her bio. Then why we invite Ebenezer Chibundu. Ebenezer Chibundu is a branding analyst. He has done so many. You think you have been days. Wait for this and the next. It's gonna be mind blowing, mind blowing, mind blowing, mind blowing. I think he's trying to get onto us. He's trying to get onto us. He's trying to get onto us. Ebenezer Chibundu is training us right away, right away, right away, right away. Please take a screenshot. I don't know if you are taking my own screenshot or let me take another screenshot. Take a screenshot, invite your friends, invite everybody, tell them that we are learning here, we are learning here, we are learning here, we are learning here. Quickly, quickly, everyone, take a screenshot, invite your friends, invite your friends, invite your friends. All right, we welcome Ebenezer Chibundu as we take over this session. You want to know how to brand yourself in purpose, welcome the boss, the branding boss. Welcome, Ebenezer. I think network is quite poor and okay, okay. It's trying to join us. Network has really been terrible these days. Network has really been terrible these days. Ebenezer, welcome, sir. Welcome, sir. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Hey, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mr.
Yeah, I can hear
Ebenezer.
you loud
How
and clear. Can you
are
hear me?
you? Yes, I can hear you. Welcome, sir. Welcome. We can hear you. Expecting you, and we are so glad you are here. Can
Sorry,
you hear
I
me?
didn't get that.
I said we all have been
I can hear you
expecting you,
now.
and we all have been
Oh my
expecting
God,
you.
I'm sorry.
All right, welcome, sir. So, in a
Thank
short word,
you.
can you just
Thank you,
introduce
sir.
yourself? We cannot put up your profile because we have not upgraded to the premium version of StreamYard. So quickly, let's just hear, sir. Let's meet you.
Okay, okay. Hi, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. I'm really, first of all, sorry for being here late. I explained to Mr. Kelvin, I had a live section on Facebook and in my community, and we just finished a few minutes ago. How to hasten up to ensure I am here this evening. I'm really excited. I'm really, really excited. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Prela organization. Thank you so much. Okay. My name is Ebenezer Chibundo. I'm a brand analyst and a business developer. I think, like I told Kelvin, I've already told him over and over, I don't like all those long profile.
Oh my, network is really terrible
Okay, I think
today.
the network is not strong, but I just hope. Right. So I can only say I'm a brand analyst and a business developer. So what I do majorly is to help startups and firms. So I focus majorly on two set of persons in the business world: the elite and the startups. All right. So for me, people will like, okay, why do you want to focus on the elite alone? Can you hear me, Kelvin? I
Yes, I
think the
can hear.
network is really affected. Okay, great. So folks be like, why do you want to do the whole net elite thing? I said, okay, for me, I have discovered that these are people that can pay me my actual value, and I'm ready, regardless of whatever it's going to cost me, to give them the best services they can ever get, and they will pay me the actual value that I am worth, and we both have win-win. You get what I mean? Then for the startups and freelancers and people that want to build great brands, emerge to become top recognized brands. I create another system that I will use to help them out to build their own brand. So that's it. I'm a business and a brand analyst and a business developer. For me, that's it. That works it. That works it. Yeah.
All right, welcome again, sir. Welcome again. We are so delighted to have you. We are super grateful. We just finished a session with Carissa, and it was mind blowing. And we know that your session is going to be mind blowing as well. Thank you very much, sir. So, sir, how did you start out in purpose?
Sorry, I didn't get your question.
How did you start out in purpose?
Okay. It's the whole question of purpose. My God, I believe there are a whole lot of persons listening to me now. I believe there are a whole lot of young persons listening to me now. And I'm not going to sound like Jimmy Terry. I'm not going to sound like Steve Harris. I'm not going to sound like our late Ubon King. Yeah, but then I'm going to really sound very easy and simple so that each and every one of us can relate to what I'm going to say here. Now, first of all, when it comes to purpose, I can always relate my purpose back to God. Um, I can always relate back to God. I don't know for so many of you that are of different belief system. I'm going to say this just to clear the air. When it comes to my belief, I got to know God and I discovered it was actually God through Jesus that I got saved and I got to really find who I am. Now there are some persons that I don't know what actually matters to them, but for me, the whole Jesus thing really worked for me because he saved me. I found true meaning in him and all of that. So I started from the very scratch. I started from the very scratch. Um, my family were not buoyant. Yeah, so they weren't buoyant, but they are amazing set of persons, amazing parents, amazing siblings. I'm from the family of eight, the last son, the seventh child. All right, and I started from the very scratch. I can always say that thing because I'm always proud of myself, at least the level where I am, and I thank God for it. I started from the very scratch, and back then, 2000 and 2008, 2009, okay, 2008, 2019, that started changing. 2006, 2007, and downwards, I was working in my trade market. I was working in my trade market. So we were based in Port Harcourt, River State, Nigeria. So there's a market called my trade market. I hawked pineapple, I hawked orange, I hawked all of those hawking things. And so whenever I go to school, my mom will bring me back to the house. She'll get my clothes to the market. So I resume. When I return to school, I return to the market. Then I will change over to that clothes. Then carry my the pineapple my mom sliced. Then take it to the market and start hawking. All right, great. So my mom wasn't actually doing the pineapple business in a very small scale. No, she was doing the pineapple business in a large scale. Like sometimes she have like two 18-seaters of float pineapple, and it's really huge. But then she created a system that will help her not to lose money because that's a product that easily gets spoiled. You know what I mean? And so the system she created was me. You can imagine. So I'm the system she created, and that system she created is for me to check out those pineapples that are getting soft, and she'll slice it, and I'll go hawk and bring back money to her. So I hawked for over 8 years of my life. All right. Then my dad was like, "Hey, dude, you need to go to a school where you can learn handwork." Now, these all are connected to my purpose. I know I'm sharing this story is a testimony, you know. And I was like, dude, you have to go to school where you can learn handwork, where at least you will not beg for money when you grow up. Because my dad doesn't like anything begging. Like he hates beg literally. So he wanted to equip me so I will not go beg. So I just finished from my primary school, and my dad moved me to a technical school in Port Harcourt called Craft Development Center. It's along Aba Road. I still remember that name. I still remember where that place is. You get, so I went to that school. I remember vividly when the admin officer was like, because I was the best student in my primary school. I was the overall best student. I always come first from beginning of my days in school throughout. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. This I said now. To God be the glory. I was the best graduating the primary section student, and the admin was like, "Why are you bringing this bright student to a technical school?" And I was like, leave am here, make him learn work. Leave am here, make him learn work. You can imagine. And they were like, okay, cool. And they registered me. I was very little in craft center. So as at when I went to craft center back then, 2007, 2008. Yeah. So when I went to craft center, trust me, 2006, 2007, thereabout. The people that we have in that school are matured men that have finished secondary school, probably has finished polytechnic, and they came to learn handwork because they were good in handcraft. You know what I mean? So I was actually the youngest in my class and the smallest, very small and young. And I spent 3 years in that school. I learned how to wire light. I was entering ceiling in our neighborhood to fix electrical problem for them. If there's a fault, I'll go trace the fault, do maintenance, and I was actually making money. I did my IT in new engineering. That I don't know this fan that has news. The name of the fan is News, NEWS News. So that's new engineering company, works and service. That's the name of the company in Transamadi. That's where I did my 4 months IT, and I actually became so well and good with the work. And my dad was like, "Can't you see? You're called to be an engineer. Your life purpose is engineering." Can you imagine my dad telling me my purpose? I'm going somewhere. Follow me so you don't miss this. Follow me. Follow me so you don't miss this thing now. I want to point out something that somebody here, I actually prayed about this meeting, and I know the Holy Spirit is going to help me to pour out all that is in my heart. For somebody here listening to me right now, I need to get better clarity and make decision. You know what I mean? So my dad told me, can't you see that your purpose is engineering? Eh? Just like that one hand, this company has received you for 4 months IT. Boom, my boss was carrying me for outside work. Going outside work. So we'll go do electrical wiring, piping. I was strike war and I was younger. My hands were stiff. Hey, very stiff. The people see me now like, events. Yeah, it's sort of like God. Oh my God. I wish people can just see from the actual lens of God. Can you hear me?
Sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Sorry about that. Yes.
Okay, great. So I I realized that what was I saying? Okay, so I was actually cracking wall when we were doing piping. For those of you that are in engineering that did electrical, you understand me. We were cracking walls and doing various piping. Then new engineering, we did a whole lot of installations and fixing of the fans. They come in raw materials. We fix them and package them for people that the end users to have access to them. You get. I think I should turn my camera so that you see me. I don't know. Is it better this way? I know. I want to see the best way that works. Okay, I think it works better this way. Okay, great. So, just hold on, please. Okay, I'm actually trying to pick the part that works better. Okay, let me turn it. All right. So, I'm sorry for that distraction. I finished from that school, and I wrote NAPTEP, I wrote trade test, I wrote craftsmanship, and I was really good in electrical wiring. I was doing go for outside work for people. I was going to ceiling, I was entering ceiling, doing a lot of jobs for a lot of them. I was making money. Then I did one job for River State. Then somebody picked.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? I don't know what happened.
I can hear you.
Okay, great. So now fast forward, guys. Sorry, we just took our light into on the gen.
No
Just give me a
problem.
few minutes. Let me switch on the gen. Okay, I'm using my torch now. That's bad. In 2 minutes, the gem will be on,
We
please.
can see you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can see you.
Okay, okay, great. So, fast forward to when I finished craft center and I did all of the exams, I came out. My dad was like, "Hey, guy, can't you see you're already an engineer?" My dad was calling me chief engineer, chief engineer. And we're like, "This is your area. You are good at it." Now, what I'm saying is, you can be good at something, but that is not your purpose. You can be good at
Mm,
something, but that's not your purpose. You can be very skilled at it. Skills are not purpose. Skills does not determine purpose. So many times I've heard people say, look out for what you're very good at, that thing that you're very good at, boom, that's your purpose. That's not true, my friends. I tell you, I was very good in electrical wiring. I was already doing electrical wiring, but that's not my purpose, right? So when I finished from that school, my dad was like, okay, my dad was like, okay, guys, hey guys, I'm live. So madam was like, okay, guy, can't you see? You have to go to the other school where you finish up. Then when you finish up from that school, you will now go to Polytechnic, and you can imagine what my dad was thinking for me. And just like that, I told my dad, I'm not going to go to GTC, which was the government technical college somewhere around Slaughter in Port Harcourt. I told him I'm not going to that school, and so many times I don't know what was pushing me truly. So many times he tried taking me there, I will avoid him. So many times he tried taking me there, I'll avoid him. Then finally, God helped me. I got admission into school here in Port Harcourt called Niger Data Science School in Rumokuto Road, where the current Port Harcourt Polytechnic is. And that was the school that brushed me. I went to that school not knowing how to speak English. People don't believe this thing. I learned English 2008, 2009. I learned English from scratch. I was speaking pidgin, vernacular, pure pidgin. I know I use the word pidgin so that we understand. I was speaking pure pidgin, literally speaking pidgin. Emmanuel, can you stop making noise? So I was speaking pure pidgin. I couldn't express myself in English language. So that school was a school that helped me. I didn't have friends in that school from my SS1. The school started from SS1 to SS3, just a pure science school. And I didn't know how to express myself. I would always keep mute, not because I don't know what to say, but because literally I don't know how to express myself. You guys, so guys, we are avoiding me like that. I don't know if my friend Debbie is here. I don't know if she's watching live now. She was there. She was 1 year ahead of me then. I learned English from scratch from 2008. I learned English. This book, Lessons and Structure, was the book that taught me English. Then there's this lady in our neighborhood when we moved from where we used to stay, a very crazy neighborhood then, to a better environment. Then there was this lady there. She considers me to be smart because mostly I know I'm this kind of person that when I look at something for the first time, I'll catch up what is involved. I don't need to look at something twice for me to know what it is. So she considered me to be smart, and she was good in English. She was teaching a private school, English language, and she was teaching phonetics and all of those things. So she started teaching me, and I started improving. And after like from that 2008, 2009, my English improved, but I was speaking nonsense, arrant nonsense. Trust me. But then I didn't send anybody. I no send anybody. I was big in speaking. I was making a lot of mistakes, and I made a whole lot of mistakes. And at the course of the whole mistakes, my English improved, and I learned how to communicate effectively. I started learning how to use some words. I started studying books. I remember one of the first time I attended House on the Rock, Port Harcourt. Then we were in GRO, Presidential Hotel. Pastor Larry was saying something, and he walked up to where I was. He not told me. He said this thing. When I felt he was talking to me, he said, you too can be better. So that word, he said it looking at me, pointing at me, and he said, you too can be better. When he said that thing, I felt he was talking to me. I felt there's this feeling that Pastor Larry just spoke to me, and I told myself, I can be better, I can improve, I can actually be better. And that's how I improved, and I started speaking English. So when people hear me speaking, they'll be like, all right, guys, you're speaking funny. I said, that's not funny, dude. See, I learned this thing. Calm down, you know what I mean? So The whole concept of purpose was like that. See, 2013. 2013, I wouldn't say I discovered what I was good at. I wouldn't say I looked at myself, I discovered this is the area, or no. What I want to share with you was what happened to me, and it's a true experience. I was in my room 2013, and then I moved to Aba. I was in Aba, Abia State. I was in my room, and that day, I was not thinking anything. I was not expecting nobody. I was not considering anything. Trust me. I was just in my room there, lying face up on the bed. The next thing I saw was a light shone through my room. I saw it. Some persons might not believe this, but it's true. So, depending on your belief system, but then you have to give me benefit of doubt to accept what I'm saying right now. A light shone through my room. I was hearing a voice that was louder than any sound I've ever heard in my lifetime. I was hearing a voice that was louder than any sound I've ever heard in my lifetime. This voice I heard that day was louder than any voice I could ever hear, any sound I've ever heard in my lifetime. But it wasn't disturbing. Then I didn't know God. I was just a normal guy that go to church, come back. I have no business with God. I live my life. You get what I mean? So I didn't really know God to say, I this is. But then that voice was speaking to me. He called me Ebenezer, and I responded, "Who is that?" Like, I responded, but I was lost in that light, that ray of light that was shining through my room, so strong. I was lost in it, and he said to me, he said, "I've called you to be a person of financial stability for my kingdom." He said, "First of all, I am going to make you financially." This is my first time of saying this thing live, please. This is my first time of saying this thing live here on the video wherever. But these were the words that I was told that very day. I've called you to be a person of financial stability so you can help those that want to be like you, and you can attract people in your level to my kingdom. And I asked this very simple question. Anybody can ask me my next work. Okay, to be sincere, he told me he is the Lord God Almighty, the Lord God Almighty. And he told me, my network. Okay, so to be sincere, he told me he is the Lord God Almighty, the Lord God Almighty. And he told me another, he said he is the Ebenezer. Then that was the day I found the true meaning of my name. For those of you asking Ebenezer, this thing I'm going to say shouldn't make you change your name. But he told me, he said, your name is not Ebenezer. And he gave me Bible reference in where Samuel joined stones together when the children of Israel were fighting and they were losing the battle, and Samuel did anointed a particular location and called it Ebenezer, and God fought for them and all that. He said, your name is my Ebenezer. All right. So this is just my journey of purpose. Yeah. And this is what brings conviction. That's why I do my things not like everybody. You get what I mean? Because I understand that when you understand purpose, the concept of copying dies. The whole concept of comparison dies, because you know that you're doing something that is very different from Mr. A and what Mr. B is doing. Your life is different. You're living out your best life. Like I always say in the voice of my coach, Chibundu, live out your best life. All right. That was the very day God told me. He said to me, your name is my Ebenezer, meaning he called me to be an extension of himself that he will use to reach out to other people, to help other people. And he said, Ebenezer is he that told the Lord has helped me. He said he is the helper of men. He is the helper of men, that men do not help men except God uses men to help men. So he told me he is the helper of men. He called me to be an extension of his hand that he's going to use to help men. And he has called me into the mountain of finance, economy, the ministry of finance. And he's going to make me the wealthiest man on earth by 2050. I said this year because I used to do that very first day of the year 2013. And that very year, the Lord spoke with me for a long time, told me a lot of things, which the ones I shared are things I think you should hear. And that was the day my life was defined. God told me He has called me to the mountain of finance. He has called me to be a kingdom financier, and He's going to make me a wealthy man. He said He's going to make me, but then I have to do my work. So when you hear the word, "is going to make me," that means I'm not going to make myself. It simply means everything I'm going to do, it is the Lord that enables me to do them. But it is my will to decide if I'm going to do them or not. So that was the very first day I got to know what I am called to do on earth. And that's the day I discovered purpose. So every single thing I do, like, is around the whole concept of finance, is around the whole concept of economy, business, and I so much love business. I studied business so well, like I really. So I think I should stop here. You want to ask me questions? I've spoken for
Continue,
long.
finish.
Okay, great. Okay, great. Okay, great. So I because now I understand what I am called to do. I now understand where I'm meant to function. All right. So that's now drive. I took pen. I remember then in 2013, that's my jotter. In 2013, I still have it. I told myself my son is going to see it because I wrote down every single thing there. There's nothing I did not write down there. Every single encounter God told me, and how he's going to do everything God told me, man. I wrote them down there. And that was that same time, same year, 2013, I wrote when I'm going to get married, the kind of businesses I want to do. I did a research on top businesses in the world, and I started looking out for the best experts. God, he jump for the life back. So I started looking out for the people leading the industry. That's when I got to know about Fela Dutoye. That's when I got to know about Ibaris. Those are the two persons I knew first. Then I thank God for Pastor Larry Olisoye, the resident pastor of House on the Rock, Port Harcourt. So that was the church I was attending. I leave my family church. I run to House on the Rock. I run to Jazz. I always go to Jazz in presidential with me and my brother, because then the man speaks this word that connects with me. So that's why when it comes to purpose, you have to go to the place that they speak words that relates to where you're going to. These things are very important in as much as they don't seem to be very big and great, you get. But they speak these words that connect, resonate with your person, resonate with what you are representing and where you're going to. So Pastor Larry Olusoye, I always throw salute to him, and I'm not surprised with the great works he's doing right now in the city of Port Harcourt. And he was really one of the first things that spoke so many great words into my spirit, like he spoke to my spirit. And I really knew I'm going to the business industry. I knew from 2013, I knew it. I was sure. And I didn't just run out to start doing all of the thing on business space. No, no, I'm going to say this thing now. I'm not trying to change somebody's perspective, but if you consider it to be nice and to be inspiring, that you should consider to employ in your own personal life, I think it's going to help you. One of the things I did then, I started studying books. I read about Fela's 4 different books. Then I met Fela in Port Harcourt, one program they organized. Then I met this man, Olumide Emmanuel. Olumide Emmanuel. Yeah. I met Olumide Emmanuel, the one that authored The School of Money. That was sometime 2014. So from that 2013, I was actually studying about business. I was checking various business spaces. I was checking out various skills, top paid skills, and I was checking out all of these various things. I was researching, I was studying. So from 2013 down to 2016, which was when I finally came out to serve officially. It was all process of studying, and that's in 2013 was when I got into the higher institution. And yes, okay, I missed admission 2013, then got into the higher institution 2014, and that 2014 I hosted my first conference, which was a trip to Money Planet. All right, and that event has always been a powerful event. And that event I invited various speakers, and that was my first day in the campus. I hosted this event. My many different persons attended. I knew I was called into this area. I started studying. Then one of the persons I loved when I started again was Tony Robbins, and I read about Tony Robbins, how he studied about 1,700 books before he started his career. And I told myself, guy, you need to keep yourself with the right information. You know why? Now, this why I said that to myself. Now, I wasn't born from an elite home. I didn't get all of the exposures I needed to get to build my self confidence. I didn't get all of those things I needed to get. I didn't travel to those environments that would have exposed me. I didn't get to meet some persons that would have made my journey easier. So I realized one of the easiest thing I can leverage on was book. So I started studying. So from 2013, I was studying. I developed the habit of studying. Though I was a sanguine, and a lot of persons say sanguines are distracted, but I developed the habit of studying intentionally because I decided to pursue and go after my journey. All right. I think you have to bring me back to order. Let me know I didn't miss and talk and miss Mr. Kelvin. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you. Thank you. It's been awesome. Okay, quickly. Let's move further because of our time. Now, somebody has discovered purpose. How can this person, Carissa had said something that I will have to throw in here. She said, when God gives you a vision, the ability to articulate it into the corporate setting becomes a challenge. The corporate setting doesn't want to see this thing God all over as though it's Holy Ghost baptism. Then you now have to articulate it that it becomes receptive to whether you are a believer or not, which has to do with branding. So how does one brand himself, brand his purpose, articulate this purpose, and make it appeasing to its target audience?
Okay, so now don't now I think I should say this. I should be looking at you right saying it. So don't put it only me now. So let two of us be here. I want to be looking at your face when I'm saying this thing right now. All right.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to purpose, I think I should say this. I understood this thing, and I knew that was the Holy Spirit that helped me. When it comes to purpose, the way I can actually explain purpose, purpose surrounds everything you're going to do. Purpose for me is the blueprint of all you are called to do, right? Now, every step you're taking is to be moving towards your purpose. Now, it won't be exactly that. Now, remember, my area is finance, but I'm in branding, I'm in business, right? So my area is finance, but I'm in business. So when it comes to communicating this your purpose to the business sector, one of the things I think we should understand is that we have to look at for the various mountains that can easily communicate our purpose. And in the various mountain of influence, one of the mountains that communicated my purpose is the mountain of business that deals with finance and economy. And I started looking out for the particular one that can fit to me, and I have a natural skill at. So naturally, I am very analytical, despite I'm not a phlegmatic. That's why sometimes I question this whole temperament thing and tendency thing. I question this so many times because I am very analytical, but I'm not a phleg. I'm a sanguine. But I know how to really analyze. I look at you, I know I can actually perceive what you possibly will be saying to me. You get. I'm looking at somebody, I'm looking at a business, I'm spotting out their weaknesses with ease even before the whole skills I developed. So these were natural things I have. I'm seeing somebody doing something, I'm saying, this thing is going to lead this person to destruction. No, this thing is going to lead this person to destruction. No, you get. Now, because I know this was a natural threat that I have, right? And I told myself, when I was coming to the business sector, you can't be calling God, 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 God. No, no. I am not also saying that you should leave your God. No, you are dealing with different persons, right? And you must operate on the umbrella of the word business, which has to do with meeting people and transaction. You're meeting people, communicating with people, and transaction must take place. And in branding, communication is a great aspect in branding. And number two, identity. So you don't meet people without knowing you. You don't meet people without being sure of who you are. You don't meet people thinking, am I a strategist or an analyst? Am I skilled or not? No, you don't meet people with assumption. Before you meet people, you must really know who you are. what you are going to say and how you're going to say it. Typically, for me, before I meet somebody, I write out what possibly the person is going to say. I try to imagine what would the person say, and I try to give answers to some of those things the person is going to say on my jotter. And I try to I know what I'm going to say. I'm going to recommend a book for some of us listening here. The title of the book is How to Wow. I can't really remember the author now, but the title of the book is How to Wow. It's an old book, powerful book, powerful. It's a book that will prepare you on how to manage both personal life, business life, and your ministry. All right. So you're going to the business sector, you must learn how to first of all understand yourself. First thing you should understand about yourself is understand who you are. If you don't understand who you are, purpose is useless. If you don't understand who you are, purpose is useless. So your purpose is XYZ. So understand what that XYZ is about. It's not about saying my purpose is to help young people. Understand what that aspect of helping young person really is. What aspect of helping young persons are you called to do? Are you called to help people below the age of 10? Are you called to help people between age of 10 and 19? Are you called to help young persons at the toddler age? What area? Are you called to help people that are young but stubborn? You have to define it to the lowest 10. And in business, we call it your niche. In branding, we call it your niche. Define it down to your niche. Who are the people? Like I said, when I started, I told you I started branding. I told myself my target audience number one is the elite. I want to do jobs for somebody that cannot pay me, and I charge very high. I charge as far as $8,200. I've charged I've been paid $8,200 for an identity design package. So you have to be sure of the people. So that purpose must be defined. So the first thing you must understand is to define, to understand yourself. Understand yourself. And in the quest of understanding yourself, you understand your tendencies. What are your likelihood? How do you respond to anger? How do you respond to jokes? Because there are some clients that you meet that are very that will trivialize you. They will trivialize your skill. How do you balance that? How do you receive that? How do you respond to shock? Are you easily angered? Are you always joking? There are some clients you meet, they don't joke. They want you to go straight to the point. So it will be useless running around and trying to say, okay, no, tell them I charge XYZ. That's what they want to hear. And they will not check if they want to pick you or not. So you must really understand how you behave. So I know I'm a man and I play, I laugh, I joke, but then I also understand that I know how to switch. That's one strength I discovered. I can switch between joking and seriousness. So if I look at your face, I notice your face is serious, I switch to seriousness. But if I look at your face and I perceive it to be joking, I switch to joking. And if I look at, so that's why it's very easy for me to serve. Like if I look at the person I'm working with at a particular time in time, and when I look at you, I can now switch to the one that can suit you. So if I notice you're a very principled person, I work with you with principle, obeying your rules. If I notice you're somebody that is not too principled, I lose guard a bit to fit to your radar. So first, number one thing you must understand when you go to translating your purpose to business or trying to communicate your purpose to young people, threats. Understand your threats. Understand the things you can do and things you cannot do. Then number three, look out for your weaknesses. What are the things that somebody do to you? You flip up and uncontrollably and you start ranting, blah blah blah. Look out for those things and start working on them. So personally, I told myself being a sanguine won't make me to be ordered. I have to iron my clothes, I have to wash it, I have to fold it rightly. This whole concept of sanguine and hey, Jehovah. Alright, just hold on. Just hold on. I'm trying to. Okay. So this whole concept of sanguines and disorderliness, I refused it in my life. I told myself I'm going to be the only sanguine that will be ordered. Forget all these things. Temperament said, temperament did not say. So you must understand it, because if you're coming to brand, one thing that I say I teach in our brand academy is that I tell our students the greatest tool to branding is not logo, is not creating awareness or having followership. The greatest tool to branding is called self leadership. When you understand the concept of self leadership, you can lead others, you can lead a team, you can lead a tribe, you can lead a community, you can lead a nation. One of the problem of our nation today is because we have leaders that have not mastered how to lead themselves. And when you master how to lead yourself, you know what your client is. You know that there are things you need to do and there are things you don't need to do. So communicating your purpose um to the business world deals with you first. Who are you? What do you want? Who are the people you want to meet? Where are they? How do you connect with them? What do you say to them when you meet them? And how will you respond to what they say? Right? So when I started up my business, I told myself, okay, great. Since I want to attract the elite, none of them know me right now, but I'm going to serve them. I'm going to serve just a few of them. Then, at the cost of serving a few of them, I will get to attract people in their sectors, in their circle. Then, so I said, I look out for some person that started working with FD. I served FD. I was team FD state coordinator in Imo State. I was a member of Jim Stone. I was following FD's activity. If FD is coming to any state close to me, I travel, I go there, I meet and greet FD. FD's meet and greet programs, I pay for them, I sign up, I make myself present. FD calls me by my first name, Eben. He knows me, he calls me by my first name. We received him in Imo State. We led young persons to receive him towards during his campaign. So through FD, I attended an event that through FD, I got to meet Jimmy Tewe, and through Jimmy Tewe, I got to meet Ubon King. And through Jimmy Tewe also, I got to meet Wanya Kamo in Jimmy Tewe's conference where I was a volunteer in Abuja. And when I met Wanya Kamo there, that was when my story started. My story changed. And I served my coach closely. These 4 years we were working, and this woman has God has used her to transform my journey, transform my processes. I've done work for a lot of persons in a circle. The first job I did for $350, it was somebody that she recommended to me. The job I did for $800, it was somebody that I did the job for, that she recommended to me, that recommended me to her friend. And you see the way the whole chain is connecting. So it will be very easy to say, I want to work with elite, and if there is no plan for it, you will not meet any elite. You can't even greet them. You can't even have the environment to greet them. But now I can call my coach anytime I want to call her. Jimmy Tewe is doing a teaching on his lessons he learned from Obon King. I made all the designs and I sent to Uncle Jimmy. And I sent to my coach. My coach forwarded to Jimmy, and Jimmy now uses those designs and he tags me on his IG and all that. Now it's very easier now for me to ride on their shoulders. So when it comes to communicating with your business, I think one thing you should also know is you should develop a strategic plan, which is first of all to attract that your target audience. Then how do you want to attract them? My plan was to serve people in their sector. And when I serve people in their circle, it was easier for me to connect with people in their level. And when you know that there's a job I did for $800, let me share this story. The woman chatted me up from Texas, and I told her I'm going to charge you $1,500. She was like, "What do you mean? How will you charge $500? Well, I didn't do design. I could actually go to Fiverr. I'll get people that will do this work for me." I'm like, "Okay, that's cool. You can go to Fiverr." And she didn't know me, I didn't know her. Somebody recommended me to her who I don't know. I don't know who recommended me to her again. And she was like, okay, this. I kept mute. And after some time, she was like, by the way, let me see some of your jobs. So I forwarded some jobs, including the logo I did for my coach. And she was like, oh, did you do this work for, are you the one that did this design? And I said, yeah, sure, it's my work. Then she was like, oh, you know the clarity queen, Ijoma Indukwe? I said, sure, that's my coach. I work with her. She now told me, if you know Wanya Kamo, you will be the one to do my work. I'm like, yo, I said in my spirit, that's the way, that's the way. And she told me, don't bargain with me again. I'm going to pay $800. I'm going to pay $800. Don't bargain with me. And my brother, let me tell you the truth. As at that time in my life, I was charging 50K. I was charging 50K. So when she told me, don't bargain with me, I'm going to pay you $100, I said to myself, who am I to bargain with you? I didn't say that one. I said to myself,
Yeah.
who am I to bargain with $800? Am I mad? Am I mad? So yeah, but it's very funny, and
Oh
that's
my
how I got
God.
that job. Why? Because I rode on somebody's shoulder. I rode on somebody's shoulder. So in marketing, they call it influencer marketing. Um, 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 when you ride on these people's shoulder, it's easier for people to vect you, and to trust you, and to work with you with ease. All right. So it's very important. So my strategy was to serve, and I had access to these people. Then another strategy I had was I wanted to connect with startups. I wanted to connect with startups that can sign up. I would train them. Then I created the ECC Branding Academy. And the ECC Brand Academy, the sole purpose of ECC Brand Academy is to help SMEs, small and medium scale businesses, to small and medium scale enterprises to rightly brand business, really follow the process so that they don't repeat the same mistake of going to build a brand, having followers, and you don't really understand what you're representing. All right. So that's one of the basic idea behind ECC Brand Academy, and I continued with that same process. And I connected with a lot of startups. And before then, I was already consulting for individuals. Persons call me from different as most especially my clients were from diaspora. I had somebody that called me from Zimbabwe because his brother joined my class, and the guy was inspired, and just like I'm invited here to speak. And the guy told the sister that was having problem in her rentals business, and the sister reached out to me. I charged her $200 for consultancy, and our session lasted for 1 week. And in that consultancy, I spoke with her, helped her out in her business. I told myself, so if I can actually help people rebrand their business, with is very time run an academy where I can train more persons, and where we can raise more experts that are like me, also help people, business owners, to do this thing with ease, then expose them to some skills that they don't need to pay much money to do. And so mostly startups have the challenge of cash and resources for development. One of the things we do in ECC Brand Academy, which was the basic thing that came to my mind when I started, and the benchmark of my decision was to help reduce the whole expenses startups go through. Because I know hiring a very good brand expert is very expensive. My coach, who was the person that trained me, I went through a training 3 good times. Temi Ajibewa. Temi charges very expensive. This year, I tried signing up for Temi's class. One of the class translated about 300 and something thousand. And I told myself, guy, calm down, I'm not ready yet. And you can imagine. So, and I need to hire somebody that is very good that can help you do that structuring. I structure businesses, I build business organograms, I help build business structures too. And that is one aspect of a very good brand analyst, because we analyze business, we look out for great brands, and we try to look out for things that that those great brands have in common, and what are those things they have in common to implement it in your own brand that is a startup, so that you have that same similar thing in common with them, while you also bring your differences to the table, which is going to be the point where you try. You know what I mean? So businesses and purposes, first thing you should do with your purpose, break that purpose to having a vision. Your purpose is different from your vision. Your visions are different from your goals, right? So now that your purpose, you have to bring out a vision out of it. Now I have various visions. Now one of my vision is that by 2025 I'll be enlisted as one of Forbes 30 under 30, and I will be enlisted as the best brand expert in Nigeria, and ranking Forbes 30 under 30 in Africa, meaning my business should be net worth of not less than 35 million naira minimum, minimum. So nothing less than 35 million naira is written on my board in my room. That in the next 5 years, that 5 years, I wrote now, I wrote it in 20 this 2020. So Next 5 years is 2025. So by 2025, I should be the best brand analyst in Nigeria, and my work should speak for me. And by then, I should have trained minimum of what I wrote there. I can actually remember what I wrote was by 2025, I should have trained minimum of about 20,000 brand experts through ECC Brand Academy. And so those things are various visions, various visions. So visions varies according to your various areas. Now, those visions, you bring your visions into a quadrant, like I taught this evening in my class. Of the quadrant is important and urgent. Which type of these visions are important and urgent? So the ones you put in your important and urgent quadrant are those ones that will drive you closer to your purpose. Are you getting the point? So now I do things that makes me make money because I know I need to make money. That's my core, and I need to help people so that at the course of my movement, if the Lord decides to call me home, He wouldn't say, "My son, I've given you all the ability into the mountain of economy and finance, and you're there doing semi and not doing anything, and you're broke. You even died poor." Very God, no, now. So at the end of time, I will know that, okay, I've actually made such amount of resources in my time. I've been able to help X, Y, Z, and I've been able to sponsor X. You get what I mean? So the purpose should be broken down to your vision in various areas, and all of those areas should point back to your purpose. And those visions, you should break them down to goals, to 10-year goals, to 5 years goals, to 1 year goal, and to every quarter goals, to everyday goals. So you know what you do every day that will lead you towards your purpose. Like I have my time planned out. From 5 a.m. I wake up every 5 a.m. in the morning, except I have other things that should wake me up earlier. And I go through 5 a.m. till 12:30 a.m. So from 12:30 a.m. to 5 a.m. I'm awake. So my sleeping hour is between 12:30 a.m. to 5 a.m. Sometimes I even beat 12:30 a.m. So there's something I read that they said doctors said that you must sleep minimum of, I don't know if it's 7 hours or 6 hours in a day or 8 hours in a day for you to be healthy. Then I asked myself, which doctor said that? Who was that doctor? Maybe that doctor was lazy. Maybe that doctor
I,
was
I,
lazy.
I guess the doctor was not even sleeping that much. Else he wouldn't have had his degree. If
What
the
did you
doctor
say?
was if the doctor was sleeping that much, he wouldn't have had his degree.
Exactly. You get the point now, right? So you saying, how you tell me to sleep 8 hours? What do you mean? I was saying that maybe the doctor was lazy, or maybe he just got drunk and he said that, or maybe he said it according to the level of understanding at that point. I was asking, if everything grows, why don't that statement grow? If everything change, why don't that statement change? See, sir, I sleep 4 hours and it's fine. I'm healthy, nothing. Good health is my portion. I live in it. So nothing, 4 hours every day, and sometimes I even exceed some. If today you might even see me online by 1 a.m. Is when the sleep comes, I sleep, and because my body has been trained to wake up by 5 a.m., I wake up by 5 a.m. I'm not trying to dispute what medical doctors have said. So if there's a medical doctor here, please bear with me. This one works for me. Do you understand what I mean? So I wake up by 5 a.m. And by that 5 a.m., from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., there are things I should do. And those things I am to do are the important and urgent. You know what I mean? They are important and urgent. There are some people that see, I especially worship my clients. I worship them. I worship my clients. You know me worshiping. How are you? Hope you're good today. Are you having challenges? I can help you out. They derive joy in recommending me. And let me tell you, all of my jobs are as a result of recommendations. All of my jobs are recommendations. Like many of them, I don't know them. And when I do a job for you, I sustain the relationship with at all cost. I don't consider the one I did as the last job. There is a man I did job for him. He called me again for his wife. I did for his wife. He called me again for another of his company. I did for his company. One man, and he paid me these 3 good times. So when I do a job for you, I sustain that job, and I will ensure that I sustain that relationship. I will chat you up your birthday. I will send you birthday wishes, make designs for you. very day, every day. I'm like, hope you're good. We chat, we become friends. So that any day in that, because these persons, their circles are different from my circle. So somebody in their circle talks about branding, like, ah, there is this guy is a very good guy. The guy is good. Imagine when somebody in your level is telling you this guy is good. He has done just for me. He has done for my wife. Man, when you come to me, and I tell you I charge $5,000, you be like, yeah, yeah, it's expensive. Reduce your price. You get what I mean? There's a Nigerian I did a job for, and he told me, you were like, I need a design. Somebody recommended you, and the person that recommended him was the personal assistant to Babajide Sawolu, who I did a job for. So he told me, mention them. I said, okay, fine. Like when we finished talking, I questioned him and all that. Then he asked for the price. I told him I charge $1,500. The guy is sparked. We're like, what do you mean? That's how you guys pride anyhow. We are in Nigeria, you are mentioning dollars. We are in Nigeria, so I kept mute. So what I do is when you're talking, I just keep mute, I'll be watching you. Sometimes I'll even leave you on that chat and shift away. So the guy ranted like, you're in Nigeria, you're charging in dollars. I'm talking to you in Nigeria, you're mentioning dollars. What happened to Naira? I said, sir, with all due respect, all you should just do is to pick your phone, convert that amount of money I mentioned in dollars to Naira equivalent, period. What is the essence of asking me to mention it in Naira? Convert it to Naira equivalent. That's the price I charge. Or like, are you designing gold? Are you designing gold? What are you designing, self? This thing I can get for 5,000. So why did you go for people that I say it in my mind, I didn't say it to him. Or like, why did you go for people that start to charge 5,000 naira to do this work for you? Why did you come to me? Why did you even ask your friend? I was telling those things in my mind because those things are helping me boost my morale. I kept mute. That guy paid me $350 for that job. He still paid me dollar equivalent. So you can imagine, so you get the perspective now, right? So all of these things rant from you. It starts with you. Self-leadership boosts your confidence. Self-leadership would make you to sit down and study. Self-leadership will determine the kind of books you should study. And those books you have to study, it should be in line with your purpose. And don't just study and miss. I do every book you should study. You study books that will drive you. All of Seth Godin's book, I've read them, except the one he wrote tomorrow. The one the one he will write tomorrow. Seth Godin. I've read his books. I think I have about 7 of his books and his 3 extra free books. I read them. Then his interview with Peace Amati Timi and something and Blessing Abeng on IG. I follow those interviews focusedly because Seth Godin represents what where I'm going to. So I followed this interview intentionally. I was live, following it bomber to I was never asking questions, following it bomber to bomber. And thank God for blessing Abeng, kind of person she is. That is Miss Enstanet. That's her name on IG. Miss Enstanet. And she said it means female Einstein of our time, something like that. And she now brought the lessons to a book. I read the book instantly. I don't leave books that are important to where I'm going to tomorrow for me to read. And let me tell you, you can finish a book of 350 pages in 3 hours 45 minutes. I took my time to calculate this. A book of 350 pages, any book within 300 pages, you can finish it in 3 hours 45 minutes as a slow reader. It's not magical. Let me explain how you do that. You divide the book by 3. Then let's say it's 300 pages, you divide it by 3. That is each of the now have 100 pages. Give 1 hour to 100 page. So tell yourself, I'm not standing up, I'm not switching on my internet, I'm not turning to any food, I'm not leaving where I'm sitting until it's 1 hour. Look only on that book. You end up finishing 100 pages. This works like this. I read book. I go offline, I put my phone on flight mode, no call, no internet. I'll sit down and say, oh, guy, you're not standing up here until it's 1 hour. When that 1 hour is complete, sometimes you realize that you never want to stand up, self. You just have, okay, let me just stand up. So within that 1 hour, if you're looking at that book closely, you end up covering minimum, even if you don't get to that 100 pages, you see yourself getting to around 80 pages. And you realize that, oh, that means this book can be finished in a day. But then I tell people, okay, even if you cannot finish a book in a day, why don't you study a book in 3 days? Okay, even if you cannot finish a book in 3 days, why don't you study a book in 6 days? Some persons don't even study a book in 1 week. Why? Because they are distracted. See, when you want to really understand the power of distraction, when you're bathing, try to put water in your ear, allow the shower to cover both ears. You will not hear what anybody is saying. You enjoy the the bathing processes. You get what I mean? So distraction comes from wave, distraction comes from things you're thinking, distraction comes from things you think you should be doing. That's why you should include your reading time in your planning. You should give your study time. So my life, every day, my study has 3 hours. One of them is early hours of the morning. I give it like 1 hour, 30 minutes from that 5 a.m., which includes my Bible, includes my book or anything, within 1 hour, 30 minutes. Then around mid-afternoon, I give it like 30 minutes. In the night before I go to bed, I study for like 1 hour, and it has been working for me. You get what I mean? So we include that study in your time. Include it in your time. I don't know, haven't our time gone? We've spent quite some time there, you know what I mean? So,
Oh my, oh my, oh my. Like I was dazed before, I'm double dazed again now. It's super amazing. Most of the questions I want to ask, you have unintentionally answered them. But again, let me just ask one last question. So we just run it off with this last question. What are those skills you actually learned that has propelled you in purpose? What are those skills that you
sorry, I
intentionally,
didn't hear you.
what are those skills you learned? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, what are those skills you learned that pushed you in purpose? That those skills you gave yourself to that you intentionally learned that pushed you in purpose. So can you help us with it,
Okay,
please?
skills, right? All right.
Yes.
When I decided to go into to really work on my purpose, which is making money, the first thing that came to my mind was to go and learn a trade. Because I was like, okay, people that make money are people that have businesses. So the first thing that came to my mind was to go and learn a trade. But then I realized learning a trade is going to take me a long time. After this long time, I will not be settled. I'm not wired that way. I can't stay. So one of the things I learned, one of the basic skill I learned is I don't know, I'm going to say this. Very basic skill I learned was excellence. Is a skill. Excellence. Excellence was a skill I learned. And thank God for my church, House on the Rock. My God, my God. The thing rubs off me. It rubbed off me, and excellence was a skill I learned, and I got involved. The thing just found its way around everything I do. So in HOTR we have www.newlife.net, world worship, warfare, and all of those things. And one of those our core values is excellence. And so excellence was a skill, and I intentionally applied it in my dealings. Then another skill I learned is the skill of consistency. That's another powerful skill that people don't have. If I tell myself, and yes, excellence is a skill and can be learned. Yes, great. So another skill I learned was the skill of consistency. I tell myself, I want to do this thing. If you like, let it don't succeed. I will do them till it succeed. You get what I mean? I will do that thing till it gets to success. So if I do it this way, it doesn't work. I will tweak it, do it another way, doesn't work. I will go and learn, check what I didn't do well, do it another way until it works, right? And so I learned the skill of consistency. That really helped me. That really helped me because there's so many things that I should have given up on that I didn't give up on, and now they're helping me out. One of them is serving my coach. It was not easy. Serving my coach was not easy at the initial time because first of all, I was never understanding what she was saying. Her concept of creativity was beyond my reach. Well, I was very patient. I was very patient, and I was consistently responding to her. And one work I can do it like 15 times. Correction, 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 like that. So Consistency is a skill that anybody that is going in line with purpose should learn. Then number three is leadership. 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 No, you'll be surprised why I'm not mentioning graphic designing, why I'm not mentioning branding, why I'm not mentioning digital marketing. I'm telling you, those things work on the real wheels of these things I'm saying now. Number one, excellent. Number two, consistency. Number three, leadership. You must understand leadership. And the particular kind of leadership you should understand, which I intentionally ensure as students in ECC Branding Academy learn, is self-leadership. We have self-leadership, which is the leadership of self. Then I learned how to lead myself. Then another part of leadership is leadership of others. Then we have leadership of team. We have leadership of organizations, and we have leadership of a nation. One of the reasons why leaders that what we call positional leaders fail is because they fail to understand self-leadership. They fail to lead themselves. Another, you can see people have various character traits that are questioned, that are questionable. You have people that have some very crazy lifestyle as professionals, and when you have them in your team, you tend to struggle. You tend to struggle. So if you are living a purpose, you must develop self-leadership. Self-leadership, very powerful. And number four skill I learned at the course of movement is service. So service has been a skill and a strategy for me. It works. Baba, it dey work. It dey work. I tell you, service they work. Service work. See, and one thing I must say, if you're serving, serve without expectation from that person. Start with that expectation from that person. Let your expectation be on any other person that comes from that person you're serving. Don't really place expectation on that person. Don't serve because you want to get benefit. Now, my service has really helped me. It has really helped me. It has really helped me. I tell you, it has really helped me. And I remember earlier this year, my coach chatted me up January, like, how much do you want me to be paying you? I said, ma'am, please don't pay me. I beg you in the name of God. Don't pay me. See, Baba, let me tell you something. When you start being paid, the way they deal with you changes, right? And that's when they cannot be like, what do you mean? I'm paying you and you're doing this. They won't give you that chance, that benefit of doubt, and that room for growth, right? So I was pleading with my coach not to pay me. I was pleading, literally pleading. And trust me, everything I've done for the past 2 years of my life, let me say 4 years of my life, they are all traceable to her. And I thank God for that. So you must serve without looking for benefit directly from the person you're serving. Service is a great skill. Even God understands it. Service is a great skill that even Satan understands. Service remove it. It naturally leaves out love. Person that knows you got their back. And when you're serving, don't try to talk down on the person. Always consider the good side of the person. Talk about the good side of the person. Focus on the good side of the person. That's how that skill grows. The more you appreciate something, the more the thing grows. The more you appreciate something, the more it grows. Then I cannot say, go and learn a skill that you cannot offer as a service, that you can exchange for cash. Then I learned graphics. When I learned graphics, I went on to learn about branding. Let me say this. Before I started the whole concept of branding, I I did quite a number of books. Brand Gap, I studied Brand Gap 3 years ago. Then I was surprised in one course I registered for. The facilitator recommended Brand Gap. I'm like, wow, that's nice. So many branding books, I studied them not today. I studied them far long time. Then did I did minimum of, let me not exaggerate, sha, but I did a very high volume of YouTube videos, workshops, videos on branding by experts. I followed a lot of brand experts on IG. I spend my time on the IG, and when I follow you, I will start from the very first day you posted to the last day. Check out all the things you posted. I will screenshot them. Then for logo designs, I follow the best logo designers in the world. I start looking at their logos. I start practicing those logos. I'm not telling you story. So number one is go get the skill, learn that skills. I learn graphics. Not all graphic designers are not brand experts. Not all brand experts are graphic designers. I think you should know that. Not all graphic designers are brand experts, and not all brand experts are graphic designers. But there are graphic designers that are brand experts. So it's if you are a graphic designer and a brand expert, it's an edge for you. So I started practicing logos, and my story of graphics, my the person that was teaching me graphics stopped teaching me after he taught me colors. The first lesson I learned was color. The last lesson I learned was color. So every other aspect of the graphics was personal development. I stream videos. Like the first time I did a silhouette logo, let me say this, I think I should round it up with it. That was 2019, last year. That was Babajide Sawolu's logo during his campaign. I was reached out, my coach, I don't know how it got to me, but I know it was from my coach. The PA reached out to me. He needed a silhouette logo. That was my first time of hearing the word silhouette. I've never heard silhouette before. So I heard silhouette, word silhouette for the first time. And the man asked me very straightforward, can you do a silhouette logo? I said yes. Don't always reject jobs, man. Don't reject jobs. If you cannot do it, find someone that can do it and get paid. The man asked me, can you do a silhouette logo? I said yes. And he told me, he sent me a picture of Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Then I didn't know him. And he said, do a silhouette logo with this design. Then I told him I charge 50K. Then the guy told me money is not the problem. I didn't even know who he was. He didn't introduce himself. He just came as a client. He didn't even introduce who the man was. I didn't know who the man was. Like I knew he was a governorship candidate. I was on charge. God knows what I would have called as my prize. You know.
Oh my.
But then so I went on. So why I'm sharing the stories, I went to YouTube, and I what I searched was how to design a silhouette logo using Corridor 18. So that was the software I was using, Corridor 18. And I got some videos and I started watching those videos, how to do silhouette logos with Corridor. And that night I did a video on YouTube. I remember the guy had already made part payment of 30,000 to my account. So I already used the money. So I can't afford not to learn it. So I did the video on YouTube for 2 nights practicing. After like 2 days, I sent him a sample. Again, I said, wow, this is nice, nice. I think this is the best I've seen so far. Okay, why don't you correct this? Why don't you correct this? Then I said to myself, for me to enter the level of correction, that means I've gotten it. I'll correct it, sir. And that's how I did that silhouette logo. I did the silhouette logo. I secured the logo. I did different designs from BOS during his campaign, different designs. At the point, I had a job offer to do 30,000 to produce. When they asked me, can you produce t-shirts? Can you do design, t-shirt design? I said, yes, I can design t-shirt. I did 15 different options of t-shirts for him, and he liked all of them, and I charged him 3,500 per design. Then he asked me, can you produce this t-shirt? I said, yes. He said he wanted 30,000 pieces. I charged him 3,500 per t-shirt. And actually didn't get that job for some reasons due to my inadequacies. But then that's the story, man. So that's it. You have to learn some of these skills. So when you learn these skills, you have to practice them. And when you're practicing, look out for the best in it. Don't try to. The concept of starting from scratch doesn't mean start with the mediocres. Starting from scratch means start where you are, then extend your hand. You understand what I mean? So I started from scratch, but then I knew who I want to meet, and I was saving money for training. I've attended the training. I paid as far as $1,000 for the training, and we are only two Nigerians in the training, and it was for 20%. We're only two Nigerians, and some of the materials I got from that training are really helping me in my career, especially when it has to do with business structuring. You get so you save up money for trainings, and I would see if you're here and you love free trainings alone, you're robbing yourself. Stop going for free trainings. No, you can go for free trainings. Then let me make my point clear. You are free to be attending free trainings when you see them, but always save up to attend paid trainings. Please, the real value is sold in paid trainings. If somebody teaches you 1 plus 1 in free training, know that the person knows what 50 times 50 is. So that thing, that 50 times 50 can only be taught when you pay for it. I think that's what I mean. So always save up, like save up for free trainings, for paid training. Me, I love paid trainings. I pay for it. I save up money for it, but I don't have the resources. If I'm seeing a training, I prepare for it. When I attended education, first edition 2019, I was one of the volunteers. Then I realized they categorized it. They have 5,000 persons. They have the seat for 5,000. They have the seat for 10,000. They have the seat for 100,000. I said, okay, my next edition of education, I'm going to pay. The next edition of Thinkation, I paid and I had my seat forward. And I realized there's a difference between the regular seat and the seat where you pay for. Because the people you meet there are different set of persons. You get what I mean? So paid classes are amazing. Let's don't, if you're a skillful person and you want to be highly paid, pay highly too. And when you pay so much for a course, your mindset changes. It affects the way you think. And the materials you get changes too. And you tend to do better. So like I know copywriters that don't pay for much training, then pay for trainings, they will not pay. Then they want to be paid as high. No, no. I know graphic designers that have not even paid for a course that cost them. Then they want to do a design that will be paid much. No, now it doesn't work like that. You get there's the principle of earth and the universe. You say, whatever a man sow it, that is what you reap. Is what you sow, you reap. If you don't sow for paid classes, you won't have access to materials that can influence your mindset in the right direction, that will open you up to the reality that you can actually be paid. And if you see how I charge, you think my design will come out as for Queen Elizabeth. I don't charge people with fear. I mentioned $1,500 like I just made it a few seconds ago. I say the money, I don't mention the money with panic. You get now why? Because I think my mindset have accepted that I'm worth that. In as much as there are many graphic designers that their work are better than mine that still receive 5,000. You understand? Many of them. But then I don't even focus my men. I told myself I will stop graphic designing in 2021. I'll stop doing graphic designing. But then I don't really spend much time doing graphics. I do graphics design when I have job. I don't practice more anymore. I focus more of my time watching branding videos, reading books on branding, developing courses, and trying to set my mindset on how to look at the business and critically look at it and portion solution to it, how to help startups relate to people's differences. Because somebody can work for and you see the person is an angry man, you have to learn how to manage an angry man for you to succeed in that business. So that's it, sir. I think we've actually spent quite a huge number of times, an hour 26, okay,
Wow,
22 minutes.
wow, wow, wow.
It's an honor, sir. I
Wow,
really
wow, wow. I am super blown. I am super blown. I'm super blown. Thank you,
thank
thank thank you, Ebenezer Chibundu. We are so, so glad on behalf of myself, on behalf of the theme, sorry, on behalf of Prila theme, we are sincerely grateful. I'm thanking you on their behalf.
you.
I'm sincerely, we are grateful for you to accept our invitation and you gave a top-notch value. We are sincerely
Oh my
grateful,
God.
sir.
I'm gonna
All right.
win. All right,
We
thank you
have
so
many
much.
other. All right. I will see you at the other end, sir. I'll see you at the other end. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. So
All
anyone
right,
that have
sir.
questions, can forward their questions to me, then I'll answer you, send you post on your group or your community, wherever. All right. So
No
thank you so
problem.
much. All right.
No problem, sir. All right, all right, all right. Everybody, my goodness. I don't know about you, but I'm super blown. I'm super blown. I'm super blown. I'm super blown from Carissa to Ebenezer. It has been a super time. It has been a super time. Um, I'll leave this. I'll leave this now here. The tomorrow, yeah, tomorrow. So by tomorrow, I'll take down the video from YouTube, and please don't be afraid. There'll be a compilation of all the videos, all the session at the end of the session. Tomorrow we'll be having Emmanuel Akde, the chief of copywriting. He's a convener bachelor of copywriting. I know you don't want to miss it. On the third day, you don't want to know what will happen on the third day. The first day it was good. On the second day, it was better. On the third day, it will be perfect. It will be very, very perfect. I want to see you tomorrow, same time, 8 p.m. We convene here. It's going to be an amazing time. Thank you for staying tuned. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being around. It has been an awesome time for the first day, the second day. Tomorrow will be the last day and the final day of this summit. Thank you for being around. God bless you. I will see you tomorrow, same time, 8 p.m. I'll see you at the other side.